Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Average Joe Dividends YouTube channel. This is portfolio update number 95. In this video, I'm going to show you what I did with my $100 deposit into my Average Joe Dividends portfolio. And what I did was I selected 5 different stocks and put $20 into each. And what we're looking at right now, this is my M1 taxable stock brokerage account. My Average Joe Dividends portfolio, this is about 15% of my net worth, and we just crossed the $257,000 mark. So this portfolio continues to climb. We can see the return over just the last year at 18.9%. We'll look at the last month, and it's up 4%. We'll look at the last week, 2.74. And then just today, a big day, up 1.21%. So let's go ahead and we'll jump into the activity log, and we can see there were 6 buys, and one of those buys is going to be a dividend drip. So this is from Illinois Toolworks. This morning I woke up and received $7.81. So that's why we have the 107.81. We have my 5 picks plus the dividend drip. We're going to see what those are, and we're also going to see what the impact was on my dividend income going forward. So look at the morning trading here, the 6 buys. So again, Illinois Toolworks, that was a dividend drip. And then first up, Procter & Gamble for $20, then Pepsi for $20, Hershey's. It's been down quite a bit. Same with Pepsi. $20. A.O. Smith, just adding to this position here, $20. And then Starbucks, another $20. So really the ones I'm just kind of adding to the positions, they haven't been beat up too bad, are A.O. Smith and Procter & Gamble, but Pepsi, Hershey's, and Starbucks, those 3 have been struggling lately. So we'll get out of there. We're going to jump over to my Google Docs spreadsheet, and this is where I track all the positions that are in my portfolio. I'll leave a link below to my M1 pies so you can see what's in the portfolio as well as what percent I have allocated to each of the positions. And this sheet is great for tracking your stocks, especially if you have a whole bunch of them, and if you have them at M1. You of course have to enter in some of the information for your own stocks. It's not going to be a simple copy and paste, but you can see here I have the company name, ticker symbol. Here's the share price. It's using a simple Google Finance function, pulling that price. Here's the average share price that I've paid, the number of shares, and this is using a VLOOKUP from the M1 data tab. I'm going to show you how that works. And so to reflect those 6 buys that I did, I'm going to simply do a copy and paste here in a few minutes. I'll show you how that works. And you can see here that here's the market value for my Apple shares. Here's my cost basis, my gain or loss, and here's percent gain or loss. Anything above 10% will be in green. Anything below is in white. And here's the quarterly dividends per share, and they are in this column here. And purple is SCHD because it's variable. Every quarter they have a new dividend. And in blue here, O and BST, those are monthly payers. We can see the current yield percentage for each of the positions. You can see some of these like Exxon, where the current yield is 3.35, but look at my yield on cost because I bought it back, most of my shares back when they were $45.68. So you can see how that yield on cost is a lot higher. And then you can see here's the pay date. I really like to know when I'm getting paid. I want to know what I get paid as well. And we can see here so far in July what my dividends have been. We'll do a quick count up. So far in July, and the month's not even halfway over, $1,014.18. All I had to do is wake up and have that appear in my account. And you see in this column where it's showing next dividend, take a look at SCHD. That is of course if it pays that same 82 cents, you can see what my next dividend is going to be. I think it's going to be lower, but take a look at the other ones though, like Coca-Cola, Allstate. They're all higher because I have reinvested those dividends, or I have dripped them back in. You can see they're up by a few cents, but it's all down the line and it all adds up. And I'm also buying more shares, and these are dividend growth companies, most of these, where they're increasing their dividends year over year. You can take a look at like an ADP. Their last dividend increase was 12%, and anything above 5% I have marked in the green. You can also see the total dividends paid out to me with SCHD, as well as like BST. That's my top payer right now, that monthly payer, over $7,300 in dividends. I'm going to scroll down here, and you also notice I have some values in here. I put these in for the Hershey's and the Pepsi. You can see what the current dividend is. We're going to see the next dividend change once I paste in that new data. We'll do that in just a few moments. So you can see I have it also for PG, AO Smith, as well as Starbucks. You can see here's the market total value of the portfolio. Here's my cost basis. Gain or loss over $60,000 up in this portfolio. You can see the yield percentage average and the yield on my cost average. And then here is what the portfolio is paying quarterly, almost at that $3,000 mark, which is $1,000 per month or $12,000 annually. So close there. And I have everything is color coded, and we are in July, so we are in month 1 of Q3. So we're in the light greens. So when we go to August, we'll be in the middle, medium greens, and it will be September will be the end, last month of the quarter of Q3, and that's when I get the most of my dividends, is in these months right here in the dark green. But this is not going to be a bad month at all, because SCHD spilled over into the month of July. Usually it's going to pay at the end, or actually the last month of each quarter, but looks like whatever the pay date fell over a weekend, so they just bumped it over to July 2nd. We can see here I had to build a little monthly array with my monthly pairs. I would have to add them in 2 more times into this table here. So I have them here expressing their values, and then it gets added in twice. You can see the 860 times 2. That's what this blue table is, this array I built to account for the monthly payers in here. And I have a couple links in here too. You can use in the sheet to look up dividend raises as well as dividend declarations. I'm tracking SCHD's dividend here starting 2022. And I also have like the high watermark of VTI. So we're at all-time highs for VTI. And SCHD, we are not at all-time highs. 82.48 was the high watermark. So we are still down 3% in SCHD. So possibly has some more room to grow. So we're going to do next, we're going to bounce back to M1, and we're going to finally grab that data from the holdings tab. Once this loads up, you can see I have 52 positions right now in the portfolio. I'm going to grab everything starting with the name column. Everything is arranged from my largest position, which is SCHD, and we'll see what the smallest is. We'll scroll all the way down, grab all this information. It looks like ADP is the smallest position right now, but it changes though. We're going to do a copy, and we're going to do a paste special here over back here in the M1 data tab. And here, let's do one more thing I want to show you. I'm going to put in this value here because this is going to change the monthly. So will the quarterly and annual. But really, I look at the monthly more because it's more of an immediate, and I'm trying to get to that $1,000 mark. So we're going to see this go up as well as these. Remember these where I bought fractional shares of PG, AOS, Starbucks, and Pepsi, and Hershey's. So we'll go ahead and we'll paste that data in to the M1 data tab. Do a paste special in the A column, and really what it's doing is it's going to grab the values of the number of shares they're going to change, the cost basis, and my average for each share that I've bought. Of course, it's not changing it for SCHD because I didn't buy any additional shares, but it is for those 6 other positions. So let's go back to the dividend portfolio tab, and we're going to take a look at the new dividends we're going to receive now for Hershey's. So it looks like Hershey's, it was $8.93, remember, and now we've broken into the $9 arena at $9.08. Let's take a look at what Pepsi's next dividend will be. It was 15.09, and now it's going to be 15.25. These will be paying in September. Just add 3 months because they just paid me in June, and they just keep paying over and over every 3 months, except for, of course, O and BST, which are those monthly payers. We take a look at Procter & Gamble. 963 is going to pay me 975. A.O. Smith and 363 was the last one, and 371 will be the new dividend. And then October looks like they're going to actually do a dividend increase. And then Starbucks, 928 was the last one, and then now we're going to be up to 943. And hopefully Starbucks does a dividend increase in September. We'll see if they can match that 8%. If they cut their dividend, something like that, I will be cutting Starbucks from the portfolio. I predict, though, they're going to be really conservative, probably between like a 2 to 4% dividend increase. I don't see an 8% because their receipts are going down. We are in a recession. They keep talking about a possible recession. We are in a recession. There's no dispute. There's no debate about it, in my opinion. And we take a look at the monthly cash flow from $997.40 to $997.64. So adding 24 cents. We're going to carry this over to my monthly average dividend tracking tab. 997.64. We'll type that in there. And the reason I do this is I like to track the progress of the portfolio from an income perspective. And the Illinois Toolworks dividend drip and $100 deposit added 24 cents of monthly income every single month going forward. Doesn't sound like much, but look at so far in the month of July. We've had, some other buys in here too, but I've added, you can see the sum down below, $9.01 of additional dividend income. So every month I'm receiving on average $9.01 more just because of the events that I've done in July. But look at what SCHD did with that dividend increase. It added an additional $82.59, but I think we're going to be giving some of that back in September. But we'll see. Hope I'm wrong, but I don't think that jump can be sustained. And historically, I've seen SCHD from Q2 to Q3 drop sometimes. So I'm predicting, who knows, it could be in the 70s again. But that's to be expected because I thought this jump was just way too big. So let's go over to the Dividend Tracker tab. And I've been doing these videos since January 2021. You can see a starting portfolio value. And really, just some historical on this. I started this portfolio as kind of like an extra side investment where I was just kind of taking my extra money where I could just spend on things and not worry about it, kind of money just to blow. And it was also money I was saving from selling things on eBay, just things I didn't need anymore, or flipping things. And that's really how this portfolio started. And then I just got a little more aggressive with it recently. So you can see the deposits over here, dividends paid every month, been tracking that, the quarterly dividends, quarter on quarter increase. And of course we had a decrease because of SCHD paying in Q3. If they would have paid on time, this would have been up considerably from the last quarter. So, and then there was also a quarterly loss in Q1, and that was because of SCHD's lower dividend, which is normal for them in Q1. So that was normal, and this was a little bit abnormal, paying in July. But you'll see in Q3 it's going to be huge. It's going to blow this away. It's going to blow the largest quarterly, which was $27.19. It's going to be way bigger than that. So you can see here the average monthly dividend. I look at this as kind of like a paycheck, and we can see we're up to $997.64. And again, the monthly increase, the $9.01, almost increasing month over month, almost at 1%, at 0.91%. You can see the annual dividend is getting closer to that $12,000 at $11,971.64. And here is the annual increase here, $108.08, and that's just in July. And then that was an additional $100. So I've deposited $400 so far this month. So I'm really not investing that much. I'm really letting the dividends do the talking with this and increase my income. And I'm thinking about in 2025 to actually even shut off the deposits and then just do drips and then show the progress just with the drips alone. I would still have impressive gains even if I turned off the deposits. And I think 2025 is going to be an experiment in that. So to close it out, we're going to go to my net worth. Like I mentioned before, the dividend portfolio over here in M1, this is 15% of my net worth. And here's what comprises of the other part of my base. My base is really in ETFs at Vanguard. You can see I have an IRA, traditional, a Roth, and I also have a taxable. You can see it's in boring but awesome Vanguard ETFs. They've been performing great for me. Here's my current employer, mostly contributing to an S&P 500 ETF, and it's a low cost one, Fidelity's FXAIX. Of course, what I'm doing is not investment advice. But just know though, with the individual stock investing I'm doing, I have a very solid foundation of broad-based index funds here. And then here's an IRA I have with M1 Finance from previous employments, and that was about 25 years or so of employment. And then here is, of course, the M1 taxable stock brokerage account I was talking about. Looks like there's a quick drop there. We were at the 257 and it's already dropped $150 just by doing the video. But I see huge swings in my net worth, which we're going to get to the bottom of here in just a second. M1 savings, I use this for mostly just transfers, and I should probably put more into it because right now they're offering 5% and my Synchrony account's at 4.75%, so I'm not really totally optimized. I know it's not too much, but I'm leaving a little bit of money on the table by having the money in Synchrony. And then Capital One, this is my short-term savings right here, like a 3-month emergency here. And this is more of a longer term, 12 months plus. Here's the value of my home. Here's my liabilities. Here is the outstanding balance right now on my credit card. Of course, I paid off in full. I never carry a balance, so I just wait until, I usually pay it off a week or two before it's actually due. So that's just my balance right there, just showing liabilities. Here's my current mortgage at 6.25%, not fantastic. So I probably going to pay this off, sooner than later. But we see my net worth here almost at 1.7 at 1,689,717. Of course, this is live and changing. We can see the breakdown. Very heavy in equities, stocks, and only 8% in home equity. Most Americans have all of their net worth wrapped up in things they really can't tap or shouldn't tap, which is their home equity, or in things like a pre-tax, like a 401k or IRA, where it's not very liquid. So we can see, cash, bonds, I don't hold a lot of bonds in there. I don't see a reason why right now with a 5% interest rate out there in savings. But you can see how much money I can, truly tap into there, and that to me is, it's freedom. And I want to retire before 59 and a half, so I have to have some things to tap, or have some income, and that's why I think dividends are so important. You can see my U.S. international breakdown, very heavy in the U.S. So that's all I had to show you guys what my buys were today, because again, remember, I do 2 buys in the first part of the week. I let M1 do the selections for me, and then the second half of the week, usually on Fridays, depending on timing and what I have time for, I will do these videos on a Friday, and then I will pick, and these are the 5 I picked: the Procter & Gamble, Pepsi, Hershey's, A.O. Smith, and Starbucks. Let me know in the comments below what you guys are buying. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video. Please click the like button if you got value from it. Also, subscribe. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Everybody take care.